I couldn't ask for a better agent, for a better company in a disaster where you have no idea where to start.
I learned that there's not a given in life. It takes a team. There's people that are going to watch out for us and that care.
It's been pretty stressful. Once we saw Lori and got our plan, it's
like a huge weight lifted.
And hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into the varsity side of things for the West Prairie Cyclones taking on the North Fulton Wildcats. Welcome to TSSR Game Time Live. With me, as always, is John Burton. And John, for the varsity, same thing. They've got to get off to an earlier start, and for the varsity just as well, they have to finish.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen this varsity team, again, struggle in the beginning of some of these games here that we've been playing here. And as you mentioned, getting off to that fast start, getting that momentum going early, getting out to a lead, building yourself a cushion, those are all things that are going to translate into wins, and we'll see if West Prairie can do that tonight.
JoJo's Gaming Parlor offers the best gaming experience in the McDonough County area. Stop in for a cold drink, a chance to take home a nice wad of cash while you're at it. Also on game nights, check out TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH Events, live on the big screens. Come join your friends at JoJo's, located at 776 North at Cole Street, Bushnell, and cheer these Spartans on to victory. It's going to be an interesting night here tonight. We'll see what North Fulton brings. You and I both mentioned they have a lot of athletes, just haven't always been able to piece it together.
Yeah, and we did mention before that JV contest right after that this North Fulton team did give West Prairie some issues last season. And again, North Fulton is just one of those teams, you look at the schedule and you're like, okay, North Fulton, who's our next opponent? But then when you play them, you come out, they're extremely gritty. They usually play great defense. And like as I mentioned, West Prairie usually has issues with this team.
Macomb's original local sports bar is the Sports Corner at 124 with a focus on local sports. Catch WIU games and all the area TSSR Game Time Live broadcasts at Sports Corner at 124. All while enjoying your favorite cold drink and some of the best food in West Central Illinois. Stop in and say hi at 124 North Randolph Street in Macomb. Just about ready to get things underway. I am actually, instead of trying to smash myself up against the wall, kind of doing a quasi-squat type of thing, I'm going to stand outside the table to do the intros tonight. I will admit my legs were starting to feel a little rough after the game the other night. I'll never forgive them for picking the Notre Dame fight song.
I know.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to West Prairie High School for today's varsity matchup between the Wildcats of North Fulton High School and your West Prairie Cyclones. At this time, please rise. Ladies and gentlemen, remove your caps for the playing of the national anthem. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And now the starting lineups. First, for the visiting North Fulton Wildcats. Number 13, Olivia Miller. Number 21, Katie Baker. Number 25, Lainey Whitsett. Number 11, Sadie Arnett. Number 39, Washita Bradford. Number 10, Kaylee Hansen. And number 1, the libero, Sam Munson. The Wildcats are coached by Julia McConkey and assisted by Aaron Trasker. Feel the storm winds blow. See the clouds on the horizon. It is time to meet the starting lineup of your West Prairie Cyclones. Number 3, Grace Vanonic. Number 12, Janie Phelps. Number 8, Madeline Sullivan. Number 9, Taylor Richardson. Number 5, Kelly Wright. Number 2, Ava Beck. And the libero this evening, Lauren Powell. The Cyclones are coached by Caleb Hall, assisted by Drew Snyder. Your officials for tonight's game are Rod Thomas and Christina Thomas. Good luck to everyone involved tonight. Whew. Had to hit the chloroseptic tonight, Johnny. Ooh, too many nights of that in a row, and my goodness. But here we are, ready for the varsity side of things. Glad you're alongside wherever you are viewing us from. I always say listening because I'm an old radio guy, so I always say listening. But I know what you're doing. Well, not really. I can't see into your living room, but I know what you're doing. Welcome into our broadcast here tonight. A little bit of a different lineup for the Cyclones tonight, John.
I was just going to talk about that. A notable absent is Kinley Welsh, and, of course, one you know very well, Janie Phelps, inserted into the starting lineup tonight. We'll see how that goes for the Cyclones.
And we'll see Olivia Miller serving at first here for the North Fulton Wildcats. And now Callie Wright goes off. Coming in, Lauren Powell, the libero. Not libero. You'd hear something like that on Fox News, but serve back row. Powell takes it up to the front to Sullivan. She'll flip it across and is brought up there by Washita Bradford, and we've got an illegal hit on the Wildcats. So it is 1-0 West Prairie. Serving will be Ava Beck. As Beck readies to let fly with it into the back row. And that is pumped up there by Bradford. Hit across, taken across by Arnett, and the Cyclones play it. Sullivan with the attack off of Miller. And now Bradford, back row, popped up there. Powell going to set it outside for Welsh into the game, and it is good. Tom Conklin's State Farm kill on the board.
West Prairie pulls to a 2-point lead here early on, looking to keep this momentum going throughout the game.
As Beck, back row, taking Arnett all the way to the back line, set up front, tipped right back by Richardson. Munson underneath it, set in the middle, tipped over. Sullivan, nice one-hand save. Vanonic pushes it across, and Munson's got it. They load to the outside, pounding it through was Baker. Now Vanonic up to Sullivan, back row. Munson is there, needs some help. Miller. And one past a diving Lauren Powell as Baker put it in. Baker cooking one. As Jersey Brown in, Ava Beck out. Couple of slap dribbles and sending a screaming shot back row was Baker. Powell up with it to Welsh. She'll just lob it over. And now played by Bradford. She'll tap it through. Vanonics under it. Powell up for Welsh, and she hammers that one into the net and makes it 2-2. And hey, we did want to say a happy birthday tomorrow, 75th birthday to Connie Powell. So if you see her, say happy birthday. And serve a little bit long by Baker. As right back in, and Richardson goes out. It is a 3-2 lead for West Prairie. Serve by Powell, taken by Baker on the outside. Miller had to chase it way out of bounds, tapped across, there by Whitsitt. And set up now for Welsh, back row, Miller right up front. And tipped over by Bradford. Sullivan a little trouble with it. Powell helps it out. Bumped across by Sullivan. And played by Munson of North Fulton. Up to Whitsitt, she'll hit it. Sullivan hitting it backwards. Powell. Sullivan bumps it through. Bradford up with it, up to the net. Hit back by Sullivan. Bradford pops it back, and Powell is there. Long rally between the two. Kinley Welsh says no more. Tom Conklin's State Farm kill in for Kinley Welsh. And it makes it 4-2 Cyclones. Good long rally by the two teams, John.
Yeah, absolutely. Both teams coming out here with a lot of energy, playing some great defense, but Kinley Welsh was able to cap that one off with a nice kill. That one will go into the net for North Fulton. West Prairie now up to a 3-point lead.
As Arnett puts it in there. Now on the way with the serve, Powell drops it right in front of Baker and Good. And makes it 6-2. Powell steamrolling them. Baker with it, up to Miller. They're going to set it outside. Bradford across, and dug up by Powell. Vanonic on the outside, Sullivan, and brought up by Miller. Set up side, Bradford, yep, set in and Good. Found a home where nobody roamed. And puts it in. That's going to bring into the lineup for North Fulton, number 10, Callie Hansen. Served by Munson. Good hard serves here by North Fulton, John.
Yeah, North Fulton doing a nice job serving, as is West Prairie. I believe they're going to call a net violation on North Fulton there.
And that will bring back Madeline Sullivan to serve. 7-3 lead here for West Prairie in game number one. Best 2 out of 3 falls. Munson high in the air with it. To Miller, loading for Bradford. She brings it over, saved by Powell. Sullivan outside for Vanonic. And Baker going to bring it there. Miller and up front, dumped in and Good. And once again, Hansen catching the Cyclones napping there in the middle.
Yeah, and she's found a home for that little soft hit. We'll see if West Prairie can maybe bring some back row defenders up to cover that.
And a little confusion. Brown and Powell couldn't decide who was going to get it. The drops in, and North Fulton's within 2 at 7-5. 7-5 advantage. Here comes Baker. Actually, that is not Baker. That Arnett. Nice serve up to right up front. And it was tipped, and so it will be a West Prairie ball on the side out. Ava Beck back in. Jersey Brown out. As Brown, or actually as Kinley Welsh serves for West Prairie. And that one popped up by Arnett in the back row. Helped out by Bradford. Bumped over by Baker, and Welsh takes it back row. Sullivan set up for Beck, tips, and Miller's there. They'll load it out for Bradford. She'll tip, and Sullivan at one end. Vanonic pops it up, and tipped over by Sullivan. Bradford loaded up again, partially blocked. Beck pops it high. Powell there with it, and now Vanonic across, and Baker takes it. They load it in the middle, back row. Hansen once again says bop and knocks it in. There's a music reference for you, Johnny.
Always hit me with these references, and I feel so out of the loop.
It's an old one. Bradford serves it through off Powell. Up to Vanonic. Set up for a right. She cross-courts it and drops it there right in front of Arnett. Nope, not Arnett, your net. Or my net. Callie Wright will serve. Janie Phelps into the ball game, replacing Kinley Welsh. As Callie serves that one back row, Bradford is there at the back corner. Baker going to bring it into the top of the tape and down. It is 10-6. West Prairie taking a lead here by 4. Well, we'll get the camera back here in just a second. The little problem up at the scorer's table is they hit the board. And Grace Vanonik and Janie Phelps are not able to bring it back. 10-7 here. And where that thing is, there's a couple times the folks at the scorer's table have accidentally hit the plug. And Janie Phelps a little trouble with that one. It is 10-8 as West Prairie trying to settle in here. Hanson serving it. And once again, Cyclones a little trouble with the serve. As 10-9, North Fulton within 1. Hanson eyes it up, pounds it back row off of Powell. Vanonik tips it over, flipped right back by Whitsitt. And Richardson up with it. Vanonik partially tipped. And bring it up, Hanson to Miller to Baker and dug by Vanonik. Sullivan helps it out. Loaded for Beck. High lollipopper. That was close to the line. Somebody said out. I don't think so. And Whitsitt will have to bump it through. Beck and Sullivan. Now to Vanonik. Down and good. And it is 11-9. Munson in, Hanson out. And the serve will come back in the form of Grace Vanonik. And the ball disappeared. And Grace Vanonik ready to let fly with it. Pounds it off of Bradford. Miller brings it up and sent across. Phelps takes it up to Vanonik, tipped it. Richardson puts it through. And they're going to say, I believe they're going to say illegal attack. And it will be North Fulton volleyball. Serve off Powell, over to Beck, and Grace Vanonik hammering it through, off the hands of Miller and back. It makes it 12-10. Kinley Welsh in, Janie Phelps out for West Prairie. As Ava Beck won't let it fly here. 12-10. Beck, Wine sends, and Whitsitt's up there with it. Set on the outside, and they're going to tip it into the net. That was Arnett. 13-10. Couple of dribbles. Ava Beck back again, ready to send it on the way. Drops, and North Fulton, nice play, able to get it back. Vanonik set for Richardson, rejected by Whitsitt. Beck to Welsh, off the blocks. Munson can't save it. Down it goes for the Tom Conklin State Farm kill. And finally, after really having trouble getting themselves extricated, John, the Cyclones pulling away a little bit.
Yeah, Cyclones are starting to get into their offense here now. We've seen a lot of big hits here recently on these past couple plays. We'll see if they can continue to do that as North Fulton looks to stop them.
And Madeline Sullivan, as she went to hit it back, hit the top of the net. This makes it 14-11. Jersey Brown in, Ava Beck out for West Prairie. 14-11. Serve, short one, drops in front of Powell and good. And that makes it 14-12. North Fulton not going away. Serve taken by Jersey Brown. Vanonik up with it. Bumped over by Sullivan. Bradford is there. Miller outside, blocked. And Whitsitt will punch it over. Brown to Vanonik, tipped in and good. And again, John, how many games have we said this? At some point, Venonic will drop one in like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it usually works with, I would say, about 90% success rate. She times that perfectly. Just when the defense is setting up for that block, she just kind of throws it over everybody and always finds a home for it, it seems like.
Venonic to Brown, sets it up for Welsh on the outside. Line drive through and good. 16-12 as Powell goes back to serve. Powell with a couple of slap dribbles, fires it over off of Baker, and dug by Whitsett out of the net, or our net, but tipped over by Miller and out of bounds. 17-11, the biggest lead for West Prairie in this game number one. Lauren Powell, line drive again. Arnett high in the air to Miller outside Bradford, and back row Powell takes it. Venonic up for right, puts it out of bounds. A little wide on that. It was the right thought, John. She had an alley open, but just a little long.
Yeah, trying to find a home for that cross-court kill, just a little bit out of bounds. North Fulton will have the serve, and they're going to take a timeout and look to kind of chip into this West Prairie lead as we're starting to get late into this game.
Well, let's take this timeout on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
I went through MDH when we were trying to get pregnant. We were struggling the first year, and then when we got pregnant, I stayed at MDH and through labor and now for pediatrics. My experience was nothing short of phenomenal. I was met with amazing staff members who helped me through concerns that I had when she was first born, helping me learn how to be a new mom. It was really reassuring and comforting knowing that I had so much support and kindness around me. My entire pregnancy at MDH was amazing.
And we are back here, 17-13 lead for West Prairie. And they have had trouble with this North Fulton team. Give North Fulton a lot of credit. They've been up to the task. They continue to fight their way back in this.
Yeah, this North Fulton team just will not go away. West Prairie has been trying to pull out to a lead, but North Fulton just seems like every time West Prairie gets out there, North Fulton comes right back.
Serve pumped up there, set in the middle, tipped over by Hanson. Welsh takes it. Venonic pushes it back row, and Munson is there. Miller set up in the middle. Hanson, across it goes to Sullivan. Back set. Welsh had to adjust and get underneath it, and Munson's up with it. Setting the outside, lobbed through by Arnett. Powell going to set it outside for Welsh. Unloads on it and puts it in and good. And the Cyclones stretch it back out to 5. M&B Furniture, Bushnell's only furniture store, mainstay in the community, offers free delivery within 40 miles. See them at 41 West Main Street, Bushnell, or on various social media. 18-13 lead. Munson up. Bradford tried to tip it and kind of got it off the ends of her fingers. Makes it 19-13. Pounded by Sullivan. Bradford up with it to Miller. Back set over there for Hanson. And Lauren Powell digs it up for West Prairie. Sullivan back sets. Welsh on the load up. And that one is out of bounds. And just when West Prairie seems like they're really taking control, here comes North Fulton.
Yeah, and that's been one of the big downfalls of this West Prairie team so far earlier in the season, just struggling to close out games that they have big leads in.
Sullivan returns it there. Arnett underneath it. Miller pumps it up, and as Bradford that'll lob it back row to Powell. Sullivan set outside. Venonic with it. Dug up there by Baker, but ricocheted off the ceiling and down. And the Cyclones have a 20-14 lead. Ava Beck in, Jersey Brown out. Welsh will get a chance to go to work on it. Welsh, serve off of Baker. Now set at the front for Hanson, partially blocked. Wright keeps it alive. Venonic up with it to Beck, and she'll lob it through. North Fulton will load up to Hanson, back row. Welsh digs it up. Outside Beck, line drive good. Big shot there by Ava Beck. And it makes it 21-14. Kinley Welsh with a chance to finish it off. Welsh tips off the net. The let serve, the Brett Powell Country Financial ace, drops in for a 22-14 lead, their biggest of the evening. Serve off Munson. Again, that one off the ceiling. Miller with a nice save, and Baker clubs it, though, right into the net. It's 23-14. Timeout by North Fulton will step aside as well. This is TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. Thank you for voting McDonough District Hospital Rehabilitation Center as the best of the best in McDonough County. Let their experience and dedicated sports medicine and rehabilitation staff show you why MDH has been voted best of the best in 2017, 18, 19, and again in 20. 3 convenient locations to serve you, 2 in Macomb and 1 in Bushnell. For all your local news, subscribe to the Community News Brief Weekly Edition, mailed directly to your home every Friday. You can also receive Monday and Wednesday editions by email. All of this for only $42 per year or $38 per year if you're age 65 or older. Copies can also be purchased at select locations in Bushnell, Colchester, and Blandonsville. Kenley Welsh coming to the load, brings it, and Arnett's got it. Bumped up. Tapped off the net. Hansen cannot get it across. 24-14 as they try to finish it here. Serve off the ceiling. Baker couldn't get it. Hansen, and it is a 25-14 win for the Cyclones in at game number 1. That'll send us over to game number 2. Need to thank some of the very fine people here making our broadcast possible. Having slow, unreliable internet just doesn't cut it in today's world. MTC Communications offers lightning fast, reliable fiber internet, video camera, and phone systems to the McDonough, Henderson, and Hancock County areas and expanding quickly. Visit mtc.crowdfiber.com to check your availability. Your farm is your legacy. It's the leading farm insurer. Country Financial is here to help protect it. Call Brett Powell, your local country rep, at 309-652-3889 for a free quote today. And John, for the Cyclones, a little better finish off that one, as they got a little bit better finish off of it, but got to push and get hard and finish the second one.
Yeah, and closing out games is one of those skills that you have to have if you want to be a team that's competitive towards the postseason. West Prairie did a fine job in that game, had a little bit of a scare there, but was able to come back from it. A couple big plays here and there, a couple from Kenley Welsh. Ava Beck had that nice kill through, and West Prairie was able to ride that momentum to the end of the game and walk away with that first set.
All right, sorry, you caught me in the middle of a fistful of popcorn, John. I knew you were going to do that, and you did. I give you credit for that. As we get ready for game number 2 here, and really coming in tomorrow night, a very special night, Grandparents' Night here. They will honor all the grandparents coming up tomorrow night. As here is the Crank Zone having a little bit of fun. Caleb Hall talking to his charges. And of course, when you turn the camera on them now.
Yeah, now they're not going to do anything.
On the floor for game number 2 for the North Fulton Wildcats, it is Bradford, Baker, Hansen, joined by Munson, Whitsitt, Miller, and also Sadie Arnett. And I got to give credit, Mr. DeCounter getting in on the fun. Of course, they always say, go where everybody knows your name. That would be the Crank Zone. Munson in, Hansen going out. Ava Beck. Readies, loads, sends it into the back row. Off of up front from Miller. Actually, Kenley Welsh says, thanks for the gumball, Mickey. 1-0 lead here. And they were saying the time was going to go off. We're going to have a buzzer out in the middle of that. Ava Beck walks to it, sends across. Off Bradford, off the ceiling, ricochets around. Now, they could have played that. Arnett could have got that one. As long as it doesn't hit the backboard or the back wall, they could have played it.
Yeah, but it's always tough judging the ball off the ceiling, especially in here. If you're familiar with this gym, the ceiling can be quite difficult to play balls off of.
Miller going to load it up. Here comes Baker on the attack. Powell with a nice diving save. Beck gets it. And Sullivan bumps it over. Baker's underneath it. Miller flips it over. Pass to diving Ava Beck. Caught him shifting. And it makes it 2-1. Jersey Brown in. Ava Beck out for West Prairie. Serving now for North Fulton is number 13, Olivia Miller. Miller with it. Serves low line drive. Lauren Powell. Powell on the run. And couldn't quite get to it. All even at 2 apiece. Serve. Wow, that was a nice serve, John.
Yeah, just barely crawling over the net. Nice hard line drive serve there from Miller.
And set up that, and Baker, I'm not sure where that was going. It did not go where she intended, I assume. Maddie Hood in, Taylor Richardson out. Let's get to line up for West Prairie. It is Lauren Powell, Grace Vanonic, Jersey Brown, Madeline Sullivan, Maddie Hood, and Kinley Welsh. Serve by Powell. Arnett helps it out. They're going to set it on the outside. Back for her. Brown digs it back row. Vanonic set up for Sullivan. Out of bounds. And we're tied at 3. All tied up at 3 apiece. Baker coming back to serve it for North Fulton. 3-3 tie. Winds and sends. Brown there. Up to Sullivan. Set up for Hood at the net. And we have a net violation on Whitsett of North Fulton, so the Cyclones get it back on the side out. Sends Madeline Sullivan back to serve. As she walks to it, fires it. Bradford pops it high up to the net. Hood sends it back. Munson with a dig. And Miller going to keep it high. Bradford one-hands it, but slides across. And that insult to injury, it came down and bopped her right on the back. 5-3 West Prairie. Sullivan again. Back row. Munson's there. That up for Whitsett in the middle. She'll bring it through as Sullivan pops it high. Over for Grace Vanonic. Just a little bit too long. Cyclones have been testing that line, and they just keep putting it, John, just a tiny bit long.
Yeah, but if West Prairie can get that dialed in, that back row, that back line, those corners have been open all night. As I mentioned, if they can get those kind of dialed in, they could have a few more points on the board, just like that one. Kinley Welsh, big kill there.
A Tom Conklin State Farm kill. And now Jersey Brown out, Ava back in for West Prairie. Welsh the serve off the hands of Bradford. That is a Brett Powell Country Financial ace for West Prairie. Makes it 7-4. Serve again. Welsh, hard line drive taken off the net, or taken off the ceiling. Miller hammers it through, and Powell takes it. Sullivan up with it to Grace Vanonic, and that one rolls out of bounds. Janie Phelps will come in, replacing Kinley Welsh. As Arnett walks to it for North Fulton. Line drive off Powell. And that one a screaming hot line drive. 7-6. North Fulton inches within 1 here. Short floater, Powell is there. Vanonic up with it, out to Beck. Beck brings it over. Bradford digs it up. Flipped over by Miller. Phelps humps it out over to Beck. And back row, Arnett is there. They'll set it in the middle. It is Hanson. That one does not get across. And the Cyclones get it back. Taylor Richardson in, Lauren Powell out, and Maddie Hood to serve for West Prairie. Hood, deep back row off of Munson. Set on the outside, Hanson, dug up by Vanonic. Sullivan will back set it. Ava Beck with a tip. And Miller gets it off the net. Hanson for North Fulton. The Miller, back row, out of bounds. Smart job there by Maddie Hood. She watched and pulled her hands back. So easy to reach out and get those, John.
Yeah, it was a nice athletic play from Hood as her serve will go out of bounds.
Bradford serves for North Fulton. Sends it deep back row. Phelps has it. Vanonic sets it up to Beck. Dug there. Well, Arnett tried the dig, knocked it down, and makes it 10-7. 10-7, 3-point advantage here for the Cyclones as Grace Vanonick's there to serve. Vanonick fires it over off our net, high in the air to Miller. Set up for Baker. That one going out of bounds, and West Prairie's leads up to 4. As the Cyclones try to pull it away here. Vanonick, serve toward the net. Hanson had to get it out of there. Miller punches it over, and Richardson's got it for West Prairie. Vanonick up to Beck, who hits it into the net and makes it 11-8. Whits it back in, Munson out, and back to serve comes Hanson for North Fulton. 11-8, 3-point advantage for them here. Serve off of Powell, helped out by Sullivan. Richardson right to Whitsitt, and Richardson hit it twice there off the block. She got stuffed by Whitsitt. Serve back row. Vanonick takes it. Sullivan on the fly up for Beck. And dug in the back row by Hanson. Miller loading up. Baker on the outside. Powell is right there. Vanonick tips it over, and Arnett takes it this time. Miller hits it back. Powell can't get there. Drops down and good. Makes it 11-10. As the Cyclones lead down to 1. Lead down to 1. Hanson. Vanonick digs it at the floor. Sullivan up for Richardson, and it is tipped. 12-10, side out back over to North Fulton, and Janie Phelps out as Kinley Welsh comes in. Ava Beck serves it through to Arnett. Bradford helps it out. Baker will bump it over, and Sullivan's underneath it. Vanonick set to the outside. Welsh finishes on that one. And boy, John, you could see that coming.
It's always so much fun to watch Welsh hit. I mean, she just pounds that ball on the outside.
Ava Beck will bring it. That one, she was trying to cut the side, hit it into the net. So 13-11 side out here. Jersey Brown in. Beck out. As back at the serve will come Miller. 13-11, Miller at the serve now. Her serve, and Vanonick's up with it. They set it up, and nobody in particular took it. Bradford takes it for North Fulton. Miller for Baker, all partially blocked. Vanonick up to Powell, now set up for Welsh again. Dug by Munson back row, flipped over by Whitsitt, and dug again by Bradford in the back row. They bring it up. Whitsitt with the load up, blocked by Richardson. And Welsh is there. Vanonick outside, Sullivan loads, and dug by Bradford again, close to the net. Miller digs it out. Hit down by Baker off the hands of Brown, and good. And it's 13-12. Like I said, North Fulton just will not go away. They have been persistent, as some people say. I know what the word is, folks. Miller line drive off of Brown. Sullivan up to Richardson. Dug by, well, sideways by Bradford. They try to pop it up. Can't do it. And makes it 14-11. Richardson goes out. Hood is in for West Prairie as back to serve Lauren Powell. Again, trying to get a little bit of room for the Cyclones. Powell to Bradford. Up to Miller, set outside, Arnett across, Powell's there. And Vanonick gonna back set for Welsh, down and good. The lead to 3, 15-12.
And this was about the point in the game during that first set that West Prairie started to build on their lead that they eventually rode to a win. So we'll see if they can kind of do the similar thing here in the second set.
Up to the net, Maddie Hood trying to send it back, but mistimed the jump. So makes it 15-13. Baker eyes it up. Serve to Powell. Here comes Vanonick up with it to Hood, off of Miller. Baker trying to run and get there, cannot. And another big side out for the Cyclones of West Prairie. Madeline Sullivan will come back and serve. Her serve taken by Munson. Up to Miller, back set and dropped across. Welsh can't get that one. And again, North Fulton just continues to keep themselves in the game, staying about this 2-3-4 margin. And that's one of those you got to keep them at that arm's length. Can't let them get on a run. Munson serves that one way out of bounds. And now Brown out, Ava Beck in for West Prairie. As here comes Kinley Welsh. Loads, fires off Munson. Popped up high by Arnett, and Bradford bumps it over. Powell has it for West Prairie. Sullivan up to Beck. Back row, one hand. Miller trying to just, they say she did not touch it. And they say it was touched by Miller. I thought she touched it. The trajectory of the ball changed a little, John.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it from up here. Good break for the Cyclones. Tough break if you're North Fulton. We'll see if the Cyclones can keep the momentum rolling off of that.
Ball hit sideways. Miller up to Hanson, back row. It is taken by Welsh, set up for Hood, and Munson digs it up. Miller pops it high. Bradford tries to get it. Beck a one-handed save. Sullivan up, and Welsh bumps it through as they bring it up front to Miller. Loaded for Hanson. Out of bounds. As Powell was given chase there, Welsh trying to expand the lead a little more. Served by Kinley Welsh. Bradford sends it high. We're to Baker, tipped across by Hanson. Venonic going to bring it outside. They load her up, blocked at the net. Bradford one hands it high. Miller back to Bradford. And Hood, a little trouble with it. It's going to drop down and earn a side out for North Fulton. A hat brand built on two staples, comfort and style, specializing in snapback trucker style caps. Check out the selection or consider customs to build your business at BarclayBillsCo.com. And don't let the hat rack fool you. There's always room for one more Barclay Bill. BarclayBillsCo.com, a great place to buy a great hat. Miller returns one there, a little bit too long. Richardson in, Powell out. As Maddie Hood will let fly with it. Hood, serve, in and good. Bandage up, a Brett Powell Country Financial ace for Maddie Hood. Hood drops it in. Maddie Hood letting it go again. That one off of Arnett at the back line. Munson up. Tipped over by Hanson, and Venonic takes it. Sullivan loads the outside. Grace Venonic. And Munson under it. Set up for Hanson in the middle. Phelps gets it on the run. A little too far into the net, though. And makes it 21-16. Side out back to North Fulton. Good Hope Gardens, located at 445 East Main Street. Good Hope. See them for all the fall goodies and other pumpkins as well. Check out their Facebook page for updates. Good Hope Gardens. Come see where it's grown. Setup is to Baker. Baker going to drop one in and good in between Phelps and Powell.
And here you go, this North Fulton team trying to mount a late game run to get back into this one.
Serve off of Phelps in the middle. Venonic flips it over. Baker keeps it alive, but Hanson not able to get it out of the net, and it's 22-17. Venonic will come back and let it fly here. As Grace Venonic winds, comes to it, and serve is off of Arnett. Miller up to Baker, into the net it goes. Did not get across in the recommended daily allowance of 3 hits. Timeout North Fulton. We'll step aside as well. This is TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
Well, I've always had an interest in the medical field, and then growing up, I actually went through physical therapy myself for an injury, and that got me back to playing my sports and the activities that I loved. So seeing that firsthand, I got to see how much physical therapy could really benefit others.
And we are back here. I want to thank all our fine sponsors here. JoJo's Gaming Parlor, offering the best gaming experience in the McDonough County area. Stop in for a cold drink and a nice chance to take home a nice wad of cash while you're at it. Check out our TSSR Game Time Live events. Join your friends at JoJo's, located at 776 North Cole Street, Bushnell. Cheer our athletes on victory. Venonic dropping that one in. Miller tried to save, but came sliding through. So Grace Vanonik has game and or match point at 24-17. Serve across. Munson is there. Miller now set outside for Baker. Lob back row. Powell takes it. Vanonik up. Here comes Beck. Could be the game winner. Comes over. Baker can't get it. And down and good it goes. The Cyclones win it in 2 as they take this one home and advance, get ready for tomorrow night's action. As heck, I don't even know who they're going to be against. I will find that, he said as he flipped the pages. It will be United, which is always a pretty good team for Grandparents' Night. That's coming up tomorrow night here, the Red Storm. And we will see them tomorrow. John, any last thoughts?
No, I mean, the West Prairie looked good here tonight. Of course, you just mentioned United tomorrow night. Usually another tough matchup for the Cyclones. And here in the past couple of years, they started to build a bit of a rivalry, it feels like. You know, it's always fun when they come to town or we go up there. The stands are usually packed in both of the crank zones because they usually bring their even to the away games. Usually out here, usually loud. It's always a fun game, so I'm excited for that one.
All right, we will see you tomorrow night, folks, for Grandparents' Night. This has been TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.